All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to another week of our Instagram photo critique. I'm going live tonight on Friday it's 10 p.m. Eastern right now, so we're finally have these things on a schedule, which is nice. So every single Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern will be these scheduled weekly live streams for the Instagram photo critique. And of course, if you are wondering how you can take part in this, all you have to do is post a photo on Instagram and use my hashtag FMEcritique when you post one of your photos. And that's all you have to do. And then that will kind of sort your photo in a big pool of other photos for me so that I can sort through all the photos and, of course, pick my favorites and the ones that need to be critiqued. And I always typically do like a favorite photo of the week as well. So, yeah, every Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern, we'll do these streams, and then for some reason, if something comes up, I will let you guys know on Facebook, Twitter, and the YouTube community page if we have to reschedule that for a week, to like a Saturday or a later or earlier time or something. But all right, well, we'll wait a second here and let people join in, and then I'll move on to the critique. And if you're watching this on the replay and not live, there'll be like a table of contents in the description. You can see what time the critique actually starts in the description, so you don't have to just hang around and wait for me to let people join and chat with them and stuff. Let's see. Michael's already in the chat room. Hello, Michael. Hope you're having a wonderful night, man. All right, good. We have some more people joining. See, I'm hoping by putting these on a schedule, more people can take part in these, because there was a time where I had like 50 or 60 people watching these streams. And every time that I would just do like a random stream in the middle of the day, I'd only get like 10 or 12 people watching. So, yeah, I'm hoping by getting them on a schedule, it'll be nicer for everybody. All right. Well, hope everyone is doing fantastic this evening. Before we get started, if you guys ever need any questions or anything, I get tons of emails, so you should go and follow me on social media at Finding Middle Earth on Facebook, Finding Mid-Earth on Twitter, and then Finding Middle Earth on Instagram. And it's really easy to get a hold of me there. Just shoot me a direct message, and I typically respond pretty quickly. I post a lot of my stuff there as well, a lot of my content. So that's just a way to kind of keep up to date on what's going on. Let's see. Paul's in the chat room. Morning from Sydney. Oh, wow. Good morning, Paul. That's awesome. Or I should say g'day, right? G'day, Paul. All right. Well, let's go ahead and jump into the first photo here. I kind of had to rush this together. I was at dinner this evening, and the dinner ran really long, so I had to like rush home. I'm sorry I'm a little late. It's like 10:15 right now, so I apologize for being a few minutes late here. But yeah, let's not keep you guys waiting. Let's go ahead and hop into the first photo. All right. So here we have this, I can't tell if this is a panorama or if it was just cropped this way. But, you know, right off the bat, this is one of those compositionally nice images, right? You have a nice bit of sky. You have the leading line into the distance that's actually on the rule of third axis, so it's, obeying the rule of third. And then you have a little bit of foreground something here. And, overall, it's not a bad photo. And I don't have a whole lot to say about this one. The biggest thing is this foreground here. All this in the foreground, this wheat or dead grass or whatever it is, it's very, very bright and very yellowy, colorful. I'm not sure if this was like right at golden hour and the sun was just pounding into this, which is okay. It's not bad. The issue is that it's so bright and immediately distracts me from all the rest of the image. And if you're going to have an element like that in your image, like this, where it's going to distract you, or distract your viewer, rather, you want it to be something cool. You want it to be something meaningful. You don't want just a little patch of grass to distract you from the main show here. And in my opinion, the main event is this line and the nice clouds over here. The rest of the sky is just kind of boring. The midground is kind of boring. You know, the main bit is the little leading line and the cloud. But even then, I'm not sure if this is kind of your style. Like, I can see this if this is like in a portfolio full of power line shots. I have seen stuff like that before where people will just go and photograph power lines, because typically power lines do run through some pretty cool overlooks. But yeah, just technical stuff. I would obviously remove. You can clone out all these wires. That's very distracting for the sky. But again, I'm not sure what your style is. If you're like a power line photographer, maybe keep that in there. But yeah, I would remove all of the power lines. The composition, again, is okay. It's not great. And then the biggest distraction is this big, just like I said, this big patch of grass here that is so much brighter than the rest of the image. And it's really easy to fix. You just, duplicate the layer, darken it down a bit, and then paint in some darker grass or even desaturate it a little bit. It seems like almost electric yellow or something. So, yeah, overall, well done. It's not a bad image by any means. It's exposed nicely. Like the midground and the sky, the exposure is nice. You have nice detail. It's just this bit here is very, very electric and distracting. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. But thank you again for submitting this photo. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one here, the next critique. All right, so this one here. So this one was tough because when I first saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, everything is yellowy green. It's like all I can see is yellowy green patterns, and I couldn't really make my way to understand this creatively as an image. And I know that sounds weird, and it might even sound mean. So if the photographer's watching this, I promise I'm not trying to sound mean. There's so much going on here that it just kind of stumped me for a minute. So then when I started looking closer, it's a very beautiful scene. You have a waterfall up here that's slowly kind of trickling down here to this nice little pond with some beautiful reflections. I think the issue here might be the processing, but I don't know if it's the post-processing. The issue is these bright yellow, like electric-y colors, like the first image. It's very distracting. All these rocks, the tops of them are this like electric-y yellow. And same with the branches, the tree branches and these trees here. In my opinion, it doesn't play nice with the greens in the image. The green tones are nice. There's like if we undo all these little red streaks I made here, there's some nice subtle green tones in the image. Like there's a nice green bush here, and there's some green here, all in the waterfall, this green brush. But this yellow is just a little distracting. It'd be fine if it was just like maybe this rock and just some of the little rocks, but because there's this big tree up here kind of hanging over the waterfall and this bag here in the background, because there's so much of it, it's distracting me away from the main subject, which in my opinion is the waterfall, right? The waterfall in this pond. And the waterfall is almost kind of masked and covered by all this color and patterns. So again, it could just be me, but when I first saw the image, I just couldn't get past all the busyness. It's very busy, so many patterns and shapes and colors. I didn't really know what to think, and then I was like, oh, right, there's a waterfall there. So yeah, ultimately, it's a nice composition. It's a nice image. It's exposed correctly. There's nothing bad there. It's just the tonality of the image is messing with me a little bit. And again, it could just be my personal preference, but that would be my critique is figure out something with the tonality to make the colors blend and mesh a little nicer. And maybe just darken the image down a tad. Or maybe, you know what you could do? Let's try something. I bet you could add a vignette around this image. If you vignetted it, then that might add a little bit less, because the corners are really distracting how bright they are. So I'm going to open this up in Camera Raw, which you won't be able to see. So just bear with me a second. I'm just going to add a quick vignette to this image. Nice, soft, feathered vignette. And here we go. You should be able to see it now back in Photoshop. So now that it has a vignette, which you can see, I think that at least made it a little bit better. So we're kind of now centering the attention on half of the pond and most of the waterfall. So the attention's kind of in this big circle here. I like that. So yeah, I don't know, maybe something simple as a vignette, just something in processing I think could have fixed some of the distractions there. But again, ultimately, job well done. Thank you again so much for submitting your image for critique. It takes a very humble photographer to do that, so I really appreciate that. Before we move on, let's hop back over to the live chat and see what's going on, shall we? Let's see how many people are joining now. Okay, nothing going on in the live chat. All right. Cool with me. If you guys want me to keep rolling with the critique, I will. By the way, while I am doing the critique on this next image, if any of you have any comments or critiques for the image, please put them in the live chat, because 9 times out of 10, these photographers do come and watch these critiques, and they like hearing different points of view, especially since we're all typically creatives, videographers, photographers, painters. So it's nice to hear people's different perspectives, not just mine. It's cool to go past me and see what you guys think. If we agree on something or disagree on something, it's nice to see. So yeah, while I'm doing this, why don't you guys put what you would critique about it in the comments or in the live chat, and that way the photographer has more than just my perspective to go off of. So let's go ahead and hop back in to the critique, and we'll move on to the next image here. All right, so this one here is tough to critique because it's really nice. It's a nice long exposure, and if you look at the water closely, let me zoom in a little bit. Right down here, you can tell just how long of an exposure this probably was because the water looks almost completely transparent. I'm assuming this was minutes, maybe 5-10 minute exposure. It's a beautiful shot. Very soft colors, very soft color palette. I just think the only thing I would say about this image is that the sky is a little too bright. That's the only thing I would say, is that it kind of overpowers everything. So it's really simple to fix. If you just darkened the sky down a little bit and added a little bit more color to it, not a lot, nothing excessive, just a little bit, I think it would really make the image. And I think the image is also lacking a little bit of contrast. Not a lot, because there's some nice blacks down in here. There's some nice black tones and shadows all on the rocks here, but it just, for some reason, it doesn't transfer to this whole bit of the image up here. I think that if we had pretty much from here up with a little bit more contrast and just a tad darker, a little bit more color, that this image could be a really, really nice image. I mean, like 4 stars or something. So let's, just because I said that, why don't we do that real quick? Let's just see what would happen. Just for the heck of it, we'll duplicate the layer. Let's go into channels. Let's create a quick luminosity mask, shall we? And let's apply that luminosity mask to, what do we want to do? How about curves? And let's just crank those curves down a little bit. Now look at that. Look at that sky starting to just come to life. That's what I'm talking about. You almost don't even need to add color to that because the darkening the exposure a little bit just made that happen. Look at that. Now look at that. Here's before and after, before and after. And if you don't like darkening the water, you can just pop back on your brush. No problem at all. Go in there with a black brush and undo some of the water if you want to. Go to I don't know, maybe a 20% opacity, a big soft brush. Let's make that water a little brighter. You just brush it in, no big deal. So that way you keep the brightness in the water, but you have the darkness in the sky and the darkness in the rocks. And there is your contrast. Boom. This is the first time I'm doing this to this image. It's making me excited, though. I love it. So there you go. Before and after, before and after. I mean, to me, it's such a subtle, small change, but it just made the image. Let's see if we hop back over to adjustments here. Add a brightness and contrast layer. Kick a little bit of contrast in there. Go back to adjustments. Put some vibrance on that sucker. No saturation, just a little bit of vibrance. Look at that. That image just came to life. Let's put all that in a group, so we can turn it off and on. So there is what we started with. It's before and after. Before and after. A little bit of color, a little bit of contrast, a luminosity mask to get some detail back in the clouds. Gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I wouldn't say anything about this shot now. The horizon line is straight. The contrast is there. You have these beautiful rocks out here in the foreground. If I can get my brush to work here. Yeah, you have these beautiful, beautiful rocks right here, and a little sailboat out here. Come on. You got it all. You have these little rocks here. This is a beautiful image. Just the processing can fix so much. Even though processing is a lot of personal preference, there's also a lot to it that makes sense as far as leading the viewer's eye into an image. And I think that really just made this image pop. So job really well done to the photographer. You did everything right in person. Just a little bit of post-processing help, and I think that it really made that photo sing there. So very, very nice job. Let's hop back over to the live chat so we can see if anyone's joining in yet. All right, let's see what we got going on. Lucas says, beautiful image, kind of lacks a point of interest. Yeah, I agree until we added that contrast. I think the contrast is what made those rocks really pop off of the water. But I agree with you. It looked like it lacked a point of interest because it was just flat. It was a flat image. Let's see. Alex says, how do I submit an image for critique? Good question, Alex. So yeah, if you do want to submit an image for critique, all you have to do is post a photo on Instagram and use my hashtag FMEcritique on your photo, and that will put it in a pool of photos. It'll sort it in a pool of photos with that hashtag so that I can choose from those photos. If you don't have an Instagram for some reason, just shoot me an email to eric@findingmiddleearth.com with an image that's shrunken down to like 2,000 pixels across. And then I can just add that in manually if you don't have an Instagram. No big deal. Let's see. Creative J says, you're only broadcasting in mono, not both sides of the headphones. Yes, so good point. So this, I just got a new broadcasting microphone from Rode, and I have a whole preamp and tiny little mixer board set up. And all the reviews had said that for some reason, it broadcasts on OBS here, which is what I'm using to stream this in mono. But everything else, it broadcasts in stereo, like on Google Hangouts or on Skype or GarageBand, that it always records in stereo. So I'm just going to have to dig into the settings here and figure out how to fix that. I know there's a way to do it. I just have to do it. It's something with these Rode broadcast microphones. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. I promise I'll fix that for the next stream. That there's an audio setting in here somewhere, but I was already a little bit late to the stream, so I didn't figure that out this week. But all right, let's go ahead and jump in. We only have one more photo. It's my favorite photo of the week, and it's kind of a surprising one. It's not a landscape photo at all. It's I'll show you. Here we go. Here's my favorite photo of the week here. Boom. Just a regular house cat. There's something about this image that I love. It's simple and just bloody brilliant. The way the light is shaping the scene. Now, understand something. Light is everything, okay? Light is everything in an image. And that's why this image of just a regular house cat pulled me in. Like, I would print this and hang it in my office. I love it. I love the bluish, orangey, like cinema color grade on this. I love the tonality. I love the harsh contrast. And here's the best thing. Because the light is shaping the scene the way it is, 90% of the image, or let's say 80% of the image is dark, and I still can tell that this is under some kind of table and that this cat is peeking through two legs of a chair. And all the photographer had to do to show us this was show us some light streaks just beaming through on the ground. The reflection of the cat right here is priceless. That look on the cat's face like it's about to pounce at a mouse. It's all right here. The light, the harsh lighting on the cat, the leg of the table, so we can tell that's a table, and then immediately my mind says, oh, well, this is a leg of a table, well, then these must be legs of chairs. And then you have this very, very blue shadows with this golden tone cat and this golden light hitting these hardwood floors. I love this image. This might not be for everybody, but I love it, and this is 100% my favorite photo of the week. Job well done. Again, I'll put the Instagram accounts of the photographers in the description below when you guys are watching the replay, so you guys can check these images out, check the photographers out. But I love this image. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I just saw it and I loved it. It's perfect. I wouldn't say one thing about it. So there you go. That's my favorite photo of the week. And again, thank you so much to everyone who submitted these photos. I'll say it again. It takes a very humble photographer to do that, and I really respect people that are willing to have their photos, overlooked and critiqued on camera. So there you go. Let's see. Lucas says, amazing light and framing. Yes, I could not agree more. That image just pulled me in. Like immediately, I just loved it's the color tones, that bluish, orangey thing going on. It's very cinema color grade kind of a tonality going on. I loved that. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed episode 17 of The Critique. I'll hang out for a couple minutes in case you guys have any last-minute questions, and then I'll get off, and I'll see you guys next Friday for another stream. And then I have a video coming out next week. It's a review on two ball heads. The Pro Media Gear tripods that you guys have loved so much. As soon as you guys bought the tripods, I got so many emails asking me about which which ball heads to get. And so many people asked me about the Pro Media Gear ball head, which oddly enough, I had not tried. So I contacted Pro Media Gear and said, hey, look, my viewers are buying up your tripods like crazy. Would you guys send me a ball head so that I can take a look at it and see if it's any good to actually recommend for them? So they did send me the BH1 ball head. And man, I love the little bit of red that's on there. It's actually a really good ball head. So I'll be going over more of that in the review. I'm going to do kind of a video where I review it and also compare it against the Really Right Stuff BH55, because that's kind of what it's meant to be competing with. So yeah, if you want a short-term answer, the Pro Media Gear BH1 is really, really good, surprisingly good. I didn't think it was going to be that good, to be honest, like as good as a Really Right Stuff head. Let's see. Creative J says, kind of looks like steps that the cat is on if you look at it closer, maybe going through a banister. Oh, I didn't. Well, now that you said that, let me hop back over and see. Let's take a look. Ooh, good point. It might be a step. Might be a step looking through a banister or railing on a stairs or something. Good point. Although I keep looking back here. Let me undo all this. Keep looking at this right here. And that's got to be, because it's bigger than all these up front legs, that's got to be the leg of a table. And then I'm assuming these are chair legs. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, brilliant, brilliant light. Love the photo. Absolutely love it. All right, let me hop back over to the live chat. Let's see. Let's see. Cosmo Gang says, that's my photo. Thank you. Oh, cool. Well, Cosmo Gang, awesome job, man. I love that photo. I'm curious to know if you can comment what did you do to process it? Did you just literally just shoot it in camera, or did you shoot it on like a Fuji and do a film simulation or something? Give us some interest in or some info on this. Let's see. He said, it's not steps, it's just a wood floor about 11 a.m. under a table. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thought it was under a table. Not that it matters, but what camera did you use? Did you just use all natural light? What lens to get that awesome bokeh? I just want to know. Let's see. Paul says, thank you, Eric. Have a great weekend. Awesome. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, it's if you're in the USA, it's Labor Day weekend. So you guys have a wonderful Labor Day weekend with your friends and family. Let's see. Lucas says, okay, tell us you're getting the XT3. Look, I'd love to get the XT3. I'd love to get the GFX. I'd love to get a Sony A7 III in my hands. I like to compare them all. So while we're on that subject, very quickly, I am currently in the works of building a relationship with a big camera store that a lot of you know about getting gear in for review. I've said it a million times that I never wanted to do it, but my viewers keep begging for it, and the only reason I'm doing the YouTube channel is for my viewers. So if you guys want to see me do more camera reviews, that's what I'm going to do my best to do. So my goal is to make this relationship with this camera store work to where I can request any gear that I want. They'll send it to me for free for like 30 days. I evaluate it, and I send it back, and I can give you guys an honest review on it. That way they're not paying me or anything. They're just simply sending it to me, and then I can tell you guys what I think about it. So if that's the case, then the first thing I'm going to request is probably the GFX. So that will be what I want to give like a GFX versus D850 video. Oh, it's going to be on like Donkey Kong if I can get the GFX. All right, so let's see. What did Cosmo say? XT20 with a Pentacon 50mm 1.8. So okay, so it is a Fuji. Man, I should have known those colors. I'm gonna miss those colors. Yeah, those. Gosh, man, the Fuji colors are awesome. So you shot that with an X. So anyone that's watching, that cat picture was taken with an XT20. Okay, a very affordable camera. These shots can just be taken with great light, great composition, and it's all up here. It's not just the camera. But job well done, man. I can't stress that enough. The light was just a great moment in time. That's all I can say. All right, well, cool. Thank you all so much again for watching the Instagram critique. I will see you guys next week. Remember, Fridays at 10 p.m. Eastern is when I do these. So, yeah, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.